Funny, isn't it, that we'd be in a class called sales management and not actually get into any discussion of actual management until now? Well, I can appreciate that for you, especially if you're already in sales. Well, this must be extremely frustrating. But look at it this way, though. How often do we have to keep practicing and relearning our own fundamentals? Now take professional football players. By the time they're drafted into the NFL, you'd think they'd know just about everything possible about playing their positions and would be the best at it because of all the success they've already achieved. Yet their typical day at the office is not game day Sunday afternoon, but the practice days of watching films, tackling, passing, catching, blocking, and kicking. Well, the same goes with sales or any other profession for that matter. As managers, we need to be grounded on our own fundamentals before we can pass along any useful training or supervision, and that requires a good deal of self-discipline and self-direction. This unit is opportunity management, the key to greater sales productivity. Now here we'll take a look at the 4 dimensions of opportunity management. We'll go into depth on time management strategies, what to do to improve territory management, and of course management always includes that wonderful paperwork, or at least electronic record keeping nowadays, to put a more modern spin on the things, and we'll wrap up with ways to manage stress. Now there's one thing we cannot do in sales or any other profession for that matter, and that's create more time. So we have to do what we can to become more efficient in using what we have. And that's where opportunity management comes into play. Getting the most of our time is one of 4 opportunity areas. The others are territory management, records management, and stress management. The most important things we can do in time management is to get right down to dealing with what will make us more effective. Now one is selling effectiveness, and the other is to spend more time in face-to-face selling. Now you don't find it amazing, do you, of how many things can chip away at your time? Well, I sure find it amazing. The text points out that up to 60% of our work time is taken up with administrative chores or travel. Records updating and driving to meetings don't actually bring in sales, although they're an important part of the process. A way to focus on your time management is to keep a time log of all the things you do. Then you can review what you've done and ask which of these items were actually a good use of your time. Now look for those time wasters and quit doing them. Now I can tell you from personal experience, and maybe a good deal of the expertise by now, that time wasting tends to be a habit, and you and I have to more continually form new habits. Easier said than done, right? Well, let's try these. Develop your sales personal goals and your series of goals as well. Just what is it you want from life? What do you want or need to change? What steps would it take to reach your goals? What can you do to change the stimuli around you? And then monitor your behavior and reward yourself for making progress. Make a daily to-do list. Now this keeps you directed. You may not accomplish everything, and the priorities may change during the day, but you do get a better handle on time management. Keeping a planning calendar. Yeah, there are a number of electronic alternatives, or even just the old-fashioned book planner works fine. Now this helps you keep abreast of daily, weekly, and monthly upcoming events and activities. Avoid what are called floaters. Now those are the appointments and assignments that you just write down on loose pieces of paper, and they just float around until you either do them or you lose them. Now one of the hardest things for me is to stay organized, keeping literature, cards, and other items needed in order. Now not doing this can result in losing information that may then cost you a sale. Look also for ways to save time in travel. Ask yourself if a trip, even an errand, is really necessary. Telephone conference calls may help, and it's also getting easier to conduct meetings online with computer desktop presentation programs and PowerPoints. Some customers actually prefer telephone contact and maybe even email contact. Get to know their preferences. Of course, faxes and computer document scans can also be used to transmit charts, designs, graphs, and other information across town or around the world. We now move into territory management. You want to classify all of your customers by sales volume or some other appropriate categories. Again, remember, we're looking for ways to make ourselves more efficient and save time. Spend the most time with those accounts that will have the greatest sales potential. Then put together a routing plan and a scheduling plan. The idea is to find ways to spend less time traveling between accounts. You'll want to get a map of your territory. Then mark the locations of your accounts. You may want to consider setting up zones where you can set up specific work assignments for yourself to serve those specific areas. Work out a routing plan, the way you'll go. Call ahead to make sure your accounts know you're coming and when, and plan the most efficient way to go. Try to schedule yourself according to your customers' needs, and also add a few extra contacts just in case you have more time once you arrive in the area. Finally, decide just how often to approach each client and how much time to spend with each one. Plan to spend the most time with the prospects that will result in the greatest number of sales. Then, as an extension of the day planner, make sure you have and keep a sales call plan. This will help you make the most efficient use of your travel time in meeting your clients. Our next phase of opportunity management is records management. A good record keeping gives the salesperson a continuous up-to-the-minute look at how a sales effort is going and helps keep the salesperson organized. Don't get too bogged down with record keeping. Just keep the ones that help lead to sales or track sales. There are prospect files, call reports, expense records, and sales records. We'll now wrap up the unit with some ideas on how to handle one of the biggest realities and problems affecting the salesperson. That's stress. Now, there's good stress that can be invigorating and inspiring and raises the desire to meet goals and exceed them. Stress can also instill a panic to get us going and not become complacent. It may not feel good, but it is a good thing. On the other hand, though, there's negative stress, and it can be devastating. So we'll look at ways that you can help manage it. And we have 4 basic methods here. Much of the work salespeople do is at home. It's a place full of distractions. There's the phone, people who stop by, dealing with children, home repair projects, chores in general, the refrigerator being close by, and it just goes on and on. Well, it can help to have a designated office or a work area, and then you need to respect it. Do your job there. Take your calls there. Set business hours, and don't let your work hours extend into the evenings or weekends. Let the neighbors know your hours and that it is not an appropriate time to call you. Keep an optimistic outlook. Makes you feel better, even leads to an attitude that could help increase sales. Learn to be optimistic. Visualize yourself in successful situations. Consider setbacks as only temporary. Try some healthy emotional expression. For instance, take a few minutes to identify the ideas that are causing you stress and think instead of positive ideas. Take a stress walk, even if just 5 minutes or so. Get a shoulder and neck massage. Imagine you're at your favorite vacation resort. Take a short power nap, even a few minutes. Listen to music or watch something entertaining. Then there's maintaining a healthy lifestyle. Now that includes regular exercise, walking, jogging, tennis, golf, and the like. This helps burn off harmful chemicals that build up in your body during stress. Eat healthy, avoid too much fat, salt, caffeine, and sugar. Take time out for leisure, and remember to take and enjoy your vacations. Finally, make sure you get enough sleep. Now this is critical to good performance on the job. Remember, we're talking about management in this unit. Even managing your lifestyle can take the same dedication and even discipline as it does to win an account.